What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk about Star Wars. That's right, for once I'm not talking about Age of Sigmar, D&D, nor Warhammer 40k. Today it's devoted to a series that I enjoy very much, almost as much as 40k. And I say that because today we're going to be doing a review of the movies, the series, and video games for things Star Wars. So I, for one, haven't really gotten too deep into the comics / the novels of Star Wars, and the stuff I have read, I'm not sure if that got canceled, as in it's not official lore anymore. So I've been currently watching the movies in chronological order, and I'm gonna give you my review on each movie, and I'm gonna give you my top 2 favorite Star Wars video games and my top 2 favorite Star Wars series. The series one, there's only a few out there, so it's gonna be kind of short. But Disney Plus does have a few series in store that are going to be really, really amazing. Like they got the Obi-Wan coming out, Cassian Andor. Yeah, it's going to be great. But for now, let's go into the first movie, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So I'd say the last time I saw Episode 1 was about like 5 to 7 years ago. I didn't see it in theaters, and when I did see it like out on DVD, I didn't really like hold my attention. I think I was like too young or whatever, and I was just kind of watching it here and there. And after watching it, through the first time, just like about a few days ago, it wasn't all that. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. I'm gonna keep it a $1.50. It was not good at all. I actually fell asleep during the middle portion. I hated Anakin's plot armor. This kid is too OP. He goes up into a dogfight in space, and he comes out of it unscathed. Like, how? Yes, I know he's the chosen one. I mean, obviously we know Anakin's gonna survive, because obviously we've seen episodes 4, 5, and 6. But anyway, I just thought, like, this kid is just too, like, luck is so much on his side. I get it, his midichlorian count is, like, through the roof more than Yoda. But I just thought it was a little far-fetched. The other thing I hated about this movie is Jar Jar and the Gungans. I really hated anything that had to do with that, because even though I had subtitles, it was really annoying to try to decipher what they're saying. He's supposed to be like comedic relief, but he's not funny at all. He's just annoying, so I didn't like that. And then the only good thing that I liked was taken away from me. So I really enjoyed that fight, the climactic fight between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon Jinn at the end. It was really good, especially after Qui-Gon died, and Obi-Wan was fighting with like anger, and you could really feel the emotion in his every swing of his lightsaber and stuff. And then he got pushed into the hole, and that's when I didn't like it. Because Darth Maul was playing. He could have killed him, but no, he's like, let me swing my lightsaber across the top of this hole so you don't get back up. And even though Obi-Wan was like 10 feet in the hole, for some reason he turned to his left and he could see Qui-Gon's lightsaber by his side. How? He's in the hole. He can't see Qui-Gon's body, which is above the hole. Anyway, that kind of ruined it for me. It's like you had this fight going great, and then you kind of ruined it with that. I mean, I guess you could argue he was using the Force to sense where the lightsaber was, but why would he have to turn his head for that? Anyway, this little review thing, I'm going to give it a rate out of 10, and I'm going to go through the ages. So, for example, Episode 1 took place in the Age of the Republic. So, for Episode 1, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It was alright. I was going to say it's enjoyable, but it's alright. I'm not gonna bash it anymore. For the first movie, with like supposedly better CGI effects and all that, it's okay. But I'll leave it at that. 5 out of 10 for Episode 1. Let's jump into Episode 2. Attack of the Clones. This one I remember from my childhood being really cool. And from watching it, it didn't get cool until about the middle of the movie. The whole beginning part was very cringy. I really hated the dialogue. Anakin really, his angsty teenage self, like, I really hated him. He was very whiny. He was very disrespectful to Obi-Wan. But I guess he's a teenager, right? That's what teenagers do. Ha 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 ha. No, I hated it. I also remember Jango Fett being more of a badass. The whole fight on the platforms and like the raining and all that. Back in the day, I remember that being really cool. And after watching it again, it wasn't all that. The only redeeming quality was when they went up in space on that asteroid belt and they were like dogfighting. That was really cool because of the like sonic charges that he used. Like they canceled out noise and then you heard the explosion. That was really badass. So I really enjoyed that. And it was near the end where I enjoyed it the most because that's when like the actual clones and the droids come into play and the fight between Dooku and Yoda. We finally get to see Yoda in action, and I really enjoyed that because throughout the whole series everybody's been hyping up Yoda as like, oh, the Grand Master, oh, he who is so wise and strong, and it's like you actually got to see him while out. So yeah, put respect on Yoda's name. But now it's all about Baby Yoda. We'll get to that later, though. So, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It was much more enjoyable than Episode 1. I did not fall asleep in this one. However, it wasn't great. Even though the CGI was improved, it still felt a little awkward at times. So I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Still an improvement over Episode 1, but not quite a really enjoyable movie that I'd want to go back and watch. And this is when we come to Episode 3. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This one is head over heels better than Episode 1 and 2 combined. It felt more darker, grittier, especially with Anakin killing the younglings. Execute Order 66 was finally said in this. We get to see Wookiees. Yoda was being more of a badass. I really loved it. I enjoyed everything about it except Anakin's descent to the dark side. I didn't like how that was handled. It felt too scripted, if that makes sense. Like, why wouldn't he go to Obi-Wan for help when he knows that, oh, you know, I slept with Padme, I love her, I got married to her, I'm having a kid with her. Like, this guy knows he fucked up. He's not supposed to be a Jedi because of that. He's supposed to be thrown out of the council. But no, he kept it a secret. He sided with the Chancellor, which ended up being Darth Sidious. Which, surprise, surprise, to no one. So that whole aspect felt forced. I didn't really like his descent to Darth Vader. So, besides that, it was pretty cool. The fights were really badass. You really felt the emotion between Obi-Wan to Anakin. Like, you really felt the pain as he's fighting his student who he sees as a brother. And he had the high ground at the end of the day. So, yeah, that's that. I don't want to get too in-depth with this one because we still got a lot of things to cover. So overall, much more enjoyable, but not to the point of me wanting to rewatch this again. So because of that, I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10. So with that being said, my score for the overall Age of the Republic for this trilogy, it is a 6 out of 10. Meaning, I kind of want it to be rebooted. I feel like if the dialogue was less cringy, if maybe episode 1 and 2 were shorter movies, where like the whole, like in episode 1, I hated the whole pod racing thing. Like, why is that even in there? Like, that stretched out for way too long. Qui-Gon Jinn, for some reason, I liked his character. So maybe exploring that a little bit more instead of going into the pod races. Darth Maul is another great character that they threw away. I know he gets his like redemption arc in the TV show, but again, we'll get to that later. So overall, the Age of the Republic is 6 out of 10. It's okay. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment. So the next age is called the Age of Rebellion. This is where we cover A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and we get to cover Rogue One and Mandalorian. So before we get to episode 4, we have to talk about Rogue One. Rogue One was phenomenal. I have very, very little negatives to say about this movie. I love the characters. Andor Cassian is a boss. Jin Erso is a boss. Donnie Yen's character, oh man, if he had a lightsaber, this dude would have done work. I really, really enjoyed the storyline for this. Everything felt tight, concise. Saw Gerrera was doing his thing. I like the emotion was there, the direction was there. Everything for this movie was pretty spot on, for my opinion. The final battle was devastating because you know what happens. Um, and it's like you see these characters struggling to push forward for their goals, their ambitions. Everything every character has sacrificed for is for not themselves, but for the greater good. They're there to better the galaxy, and their sacrifice, was worth it. And then you have the scene at the end of the movie where Darth Vader comes up and he's just, oh, like, growing up, I never knew why Vader was so liked. Like, to me, he didn't seem intimidating. He didn't seem like a villain. It just didn't hit me until this scene. Like, now, if I see Darth Vader coming at me, I'm like, oh shit. Like, this scene was the scene to make me, feel what I think George Lucas wanted people to feel when they see this guy. Anakin is no longer there. All that remains is just darkness in the form of a Sith Lord. So, yeah, this is the scene that made me love Vader. And I'm not, like, it's so badass. You guys need to see it. Like, this is top 10 scenes that I enjoy out of any media, film-wise, I guess. Well, I don't know. It's up there. Like, it's really great. So 10 out of 10. Rogue One, 10 out of 10. I'm not even going to talk about any nitpickings because I just love this movie so much. 10 out of 10. And now we move on to episode 4. Actually, before we go to episode 4, there is one movie that I forgot to talk about, and I forgot for a good reason. That movie is none other than Solo, a Star Wars film. I don't know about you, but I didn't really enjoy this one. I thought it felt like just filler. Like, yeah, Han Solo kind of brags about, his youth and everything the Millennium Falcon can do. And this movie just kind of goes and picks key lines from, like, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and just, like, goes into a little bit deeper with the backstory on that. It was alright. I don't really know what much to say about it. In terms of visuals, special effects, that kind of thing, it's pretty cool. But when it comes to, like, storytelling, it just didn't hit it for me. I'm gonna give this one probably like a 4 out of 10. I enjoyed it less than episode 1, and so far that's been the worst rated movie so far. So yeah, I don't know, it didn't really click with me. But that is where I'm going to end this part of the video. So this is part 1, where we covered episodes 1, 2, 3, as well as Rogue One and Solo. For the next part of the video, should come out probably Wednesday, if you're watching this in a timely manner. So yeah, I'm going to give you the rest of parts 4, 5, 6, as well as 7 and 8, and The Mandalorian. So again, guys, let me know what you think about episodes 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, and Solo down in the comments below, as well as what is your favorite Star Wars character. Now for this, you guys it can be in the comics, it could be in the novels, movies, anything. Just let me know who's your favorite character and why. Really quick, mine is General Grievous, hands down, because of his introduction in Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, which was like 5-minute mini episodes that they had in Cartoon Network back in the day. I think it came out back in 2003. Yeah, go on YouTube, type in Clone Wars General Grievous, and like that little like 5-minute mini episode is just badass. It almost feels like a horror movie, the way he like stalks the Jedi. Amazing. But anyway, that's where I'm going to cut it off, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. This has been The Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate. Catch you later.